and you're nodding yes, and you're using those words. Go, isn't that what you want from a realtor? Right? And I don't care if you've been a veteran agent for 30 years or if you just had your license for 3 days. You say you promise those two things to the client. Isn't that what they want from a realtor? Continuing our conversation regarding the listing presentation. And as you know, I kind of laid out some kind of like a process that you would follow before the listing process, before the listing presentation. You know, stuff like qualifying the appointment, sending out a package of information, reconfirming that appointment. We talked about previewing the active listings in the marketplace, so you get a better idea of price points for that home. And then, of course, visualizing the perfect outcome, showing up to the house, ready to go, right? Sitting down at either the dining room or kitchen table and doing the presentation. We talked about the listing presentation. You know, it's completely up to you. Need to have some sort of visual, right? The goal with the listing presentation is what? Like when you get to someone's house and you're there presenting to them, what should be your goal?
Get the listing.
Get the listing. Okay, I'm glad you guys know that. Okay, it's to get the listing. Like you should be walking out there with the listing, correct? So your presentation, let me just fix this here. Your presentation needs to be one that flows, so it's easy for the consumer to simply sign the paperwork. Like make it as easy as possible for them, right? And you know, coming at them and just answering the normal questions and saying to them, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, there are 6 common questions that every homeowner has when it comes to selecting a realtor. And they are, why should you hire me? Why my company? What am I going to do to market this beautiful home of yours? What does my company charge for this service? What is your home worth in today's market? And you know, what's happening in the market? Is this a good time to buy? Good time to sell? So I'll simply answer those 6 questions and then you can decide what you'd like to do, right? Now, that is the typical flow of what you want to do with the presentation. But the problem with our presentation is too much of, you know, us talking, not enough of the consumer talking, right? And that's problematic. So we want to, before we jump right into the presentation, we would like to ask them a couple of open-ended questions, right? First question would be something like, you know, what characteristic traits are you looking for in a realtor? And you just want to get specific with them. Find out what they're looking for. And the key here is to write it down. Why? Why do we write it down in front of them? Well, that is the highest way of building rapport with someone. When someone's saying something and you're writing it down, that's showing them, hey, listen, I'm vested in you. I am interested in you. And I'm like, listen, I'm all ears. Please hear me out. And the goal here is to have the consumer to vent, to express their concerns, get it all open. And really, that's all they really want to do is just kind of vent it out. And you're not going to really answer any questions. You're just going to just write it down. The second open-ended question that you would want to ask them, because one is not enough, would be what concerns them in the process to getting the home sold. Now, I love this question because a lot of things can concern them. There's a lot of pent-up kind of anxiety that like, I'm a little worried about this. I don't know, is this the right time? Like there's a lot of that nervousness that's coming out. And folks, you need to pull it out of them. You really do, right? Don't dismiss these 2 open-ended questions. You really need to pull this out of them. So they're going to say stuff like, hey, what's going on with COVID? What's the protocol for this? What protocol do you have? Right? Hey, I have a pet dog, right? I got an old lab and she's always home and we're at work. Like what happens during showings with the dog, right? Do we really need to put a for sale sign on our lawn? I don't want to tell the neighbors anything. What's with this thing with the lockbox? Is that secure? Like they're going to give you the concerns that they're going to have. And I want you to listen. Simply listen. Take that information and you're writing it down. You're writing it down because that's what they want. They want you to hear this and you're going to write it down. Now, do you answer it at that moment? Do you address anything that they say at that moment? No, please don't. Like, just allow them to vent, write it out, big smile. Thank you for sharing this. Great insight, great points. I'm definitely going to cover this, and you put it down. Okay, they vented, their defenses are down. They now are going to respect you and listen to you because you've listened to them. It's that law of reciprocation, you know what I mean? When they want to reciprocate what you just did to them, and you've listened. I hear you. Now it's their turn to listen to you. And this is where you go into the presentation. Okay, folks, this is where you jump into the presentation. So as I mentioned, Anthony, there are 6 questions. The first question is, why should you hire me? Now, folks, visual aids, right, guys? Visual aids. So I'm just going to pop up my visual aid that I have here for you. Here's my presentation. So why should you hire me? And I'll go in and share with them a couple insights. Maybe I can share some reviews. That might be one thing. Maybe I can go into my numbers. What have I done and what have happened and what's happened with me, right? And the key with this is, if you are a veteran agent, been in the business for a while, have a lot of content to share. Hey, I've done this many deals. I've worked this. I've done, pretty much this whole neighborhood. Like, you're really vested and you're a good agent, top 10 in your office, top 20 in your office, whatever it may be. You can highlight yourself and your team. I dig that. But what if, hey, Danny, I'm brand new. I haven't sold a house this year. I literally got licensed a couple of days ago. How do you present that to the consumer, right? And that's a very good point. So I want to tell you, all of you have a team. You guys know that, right? You're not individual. You have your broker, you have your manager, you have mortgage brokers, mortgage people that you send information to, you have lawyers that you can talk to regarding a transaction. Hey, being brand new, being in a real estate organization and a real estate company, there's a team behind you all the time, right? There's the admin person who you walk in and smiles at you, doesn't even know your name when you walk into the office, right? She is part of your team, right? So like, you have a team. So what I'm saying here is, remember question number 2. And question number 2 is, tell me about your office. Tell me about your company. So if you're brand new to the office, brand new to real estate, highlight more information when it comes to the office part. Maybe blend them together, right? But if you're a single agent with a team yourself and you have a great track record, you could do this on your own. You could highlight more information about yourself. Now, we need to use a tie down at each point in the questions, right? A tie down. So when I start highlighting, for example, why should you hire me? I'll go some points, and then I'm going to say to the client 2 things, right? I can promise you 2 things, William. Number 1, no one will outwork me. I am the hardest working agent that you're going to hire. And number 2, I will always tell you the truth. Good, bad, or indifferent, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I will always tell you the truth, because at the end of the day, this is your decision, not mine. Now, here's the tie down. Now, isn't that what you want from a realtor? And you're nodding yes, and you're using those words. Go, isn't that what you want from a realtor? Right? And I don't care if you've been a veteran agent for 30 years or if you just had your license for 3 days. You say you promise those 2 things to the client. Isn't that what they want from a realtor? 100%. It doesn't matter how many days you've been in real estate, right? If you promise that. Now, is that true? It's up to you, man. It's up to you. Are you the hardest working agent out there? Are you going to let someone else work harder than you? Are you going to be upfront and honest with people? Now, if you're not going to be upfront and honest with people, you can't say that. But I don't believe that. I believe everybody in this call is upfront and honest. I believe everybody on this call will outwork their colleagues. I guarantee you that. So you can definitely use that, and then use that tie down. Isn't that what you want from a realtor? Now, then you jump in to your office, right? And again, have some sort of visual, And you say, the second question is my office. And here's my office, blah, 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 blah. It's got this, and that, right? So you share some stats about your office. Now, what I can tell you about your office is I don't care if you're at a mom, pa, little organization, Main Street real estate, or if you're a big international RE/MAX company, does not matter. Every single company out there has some pros. It has some benefits to it, right? As a small company, mom, pa, I can give you the attention you need. As an international behemoth, I can give you exposure. It doesn't matter where you're at. You just highlight the benefits of that corporation, of that company, and every company has it, right? Then you say, you find, again, one or two items that really highlight the corporation and say something like this. Isn't that what you want from a real estate company? Yes, I know it's the same tie down, but use it. It's a tie down. Isn't that what you want from a real estate company? Okay, and you tie them down, right? Then we go into the third question, the marketing plan. Now, the marketing plan is fun, right? The marketing plan, we all do the same stuff. I'm not gonna lie. We all do pretty much the same stuff. Yeah, some of us would go over the top and this and that, but it does not matter. Whatever you do, I would list it, and including the small minutia that you do, right? Have something like this. Right? Here's our 78 things we're going to do to sell your house, right? We're going to put a sign on your lawn, right? Like, whatever it is you do, you highlight that and just kind of make it look big, right? And they're going to look at you go, wow, that's a lot of shit you do. Like, yeah, but I'm not going to cover it right now. What I'm going to do is highlight a few things. And again, we're using visuals. So having something where you highlight some stuff. Now, keep this in mind. Whatever you're going to say in your presentation, always make it in the benefit of the consumer. It's like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we're going to do a team approach. We have individual specialists who have specific jobs to get your home sold. That's a benefit to the consumer. Hey, we're going to give you some floor plans, right? And the reason we do that is because when we get the buyer to highlight their furniture, we know that they're selling on their home, right? They're really interested in your home, right? We're going to put it on the MLS. We're going to put it on the web. Now, here's my favorite, and I know you guys do this. I would end it off with active marketing. Active marketing. And what's active marketing? I'm going to say to the consumer, I'm going to say to the homeowner, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, everything I shared with you right now is what we call passive marketing. That's where we're waiting for the buyer to come to us, right? But I pride myself in the fact that you're hiring me to find a buyer for your home. That's what I pride myself on. So I do something called active marketing, where I spend 2 hours a day, 5 days a week on the phones, talking to people, finding the buyers for the homes that I have for sale and finding homes for the buyers that I'm working with right now. In fact, right, we know that for every 153 hours on the phone, we sell one home, or 153 conversations, we sell one home. So you can give some stats, your KPIs, know your numbers, right? Know your numbers. Hey, for every 83 people we talk to, we sell a home, right? So now both having a passive marketing plan and an active marketing plan, isn't that what you want from a marketing plan? There's your tie down, baby. There's your tie down. Having both an active and a passive marketing plan, isn't that what you want from? Notice my head, eh? I'm nodding yes. I'm saying yes. But more importantly, the consumer is saying yes. A tie down is a simple statement in which they agree with you. So they've already agreed to you as an agent. They've agreed to your company. They now agree to your marketing plan. Hey, I'm getting a lot of yeses here, baby. I'm getting a lot of yeses. All right, next one, which is a big one, which is the commission, right? So this is how you would work the commission structure, right? Use something. I really like what Tom Ferry has with the upside down a pyramid, where you highlight, hey, our office charges 2.5% commission. Again, this is my area, 2.5% commission for our services, for everything we just described to you. However, it's your choice on what you like to pay the cooperating broker. You can pay them 2%, 2.5%, or 3%. It's completely up to you. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the more you offer the cooperating broker, the more exposure your home will be to the marketplace in today's market. Who's picking the commission? The client. Are they affecting my commission? No. If you're in a hot market and someone's offering you 2% to sell the home, will that home still sell? Yeah, it's going to sell. It's going to sell. It's a hot market. Now, you're in a not so hot market. It's more like a buyer's market. Should we not be towards the 3%? Right? And again, it's exposure. It's telling the consumer, hey, this is what the office charges. Office charges do. I can't do anything about that. Can't touch that. Right? However, the more you offer the other agent, the more we sell your home. Now, I know everyone's marketplace is different. I know in BC, up to 100,000, you get this, and then above 100,000, it's that. Hey, just average that out. Figure it out so that it makes sense where the consumer's picking the other side. Are you guys good with that? Now, you're wondering what the tie down is, because if I use the tie down, isn't that what you want from a commission? They're going to say, no, I want to pay nothing. So tie down is, doesn't this make sense? Doesn't this make sense? And you're nodding yes, and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. You've explained it to them, that makes sense to them, right? So that would be the tie down. Next would be the price. Now, the visual I just shared with you can be nice and neat in a little package, correct? The 4 questions answered in a package. So you never have to worry about creating this. It's done. Once it's done, it's created. You don't have to reinvent it every single time you have a listing presentation. It's nice and neat. And you can follow those 4 questions. And those are the real important questions. Get them tied to get them to, bless you, to get them to want to work with you, right? You've explained yourself. The next part of it is the CMA. Okay, the CMA. And in the CMA part, this is where you're going through the price point, right? If they've agreed to all 4 of those questions, then you move on to the commission. Sorry, you move on to the price. But what if they're not in agreement with one of the parts you said? What if they're not in agreement with the commission? Should you move forward into the pricing? No, yeah, I'm getting it, but no, you should not. You need to make sure that they're in agreement with this. Like they've picked this out and this, hey, this makes sense. We good. Because once we're good there, then we can go to price. And guess who selects the price? Do you select the price? Or does the consumer, does the homeowner pick the price? And the reality is it's the homeowner that's picking the price, because they're going to pick what pricing strategy we should use. Now, I'm going to stop it here, right? I'm going to stop it here because on our next call, we're going to go over pricing strategies, how to present the CMA, how to get them to select the price, and more specifically, how to select the right price. And then we'll go into the actual close on how we close this whole thing out. All right, guys. So any questions, concerns, hallucinations? No, you guys are good? All right, so then you know what time it is, baby. So please unmute yourselves. And nice and loud, baby, nice and loud. I don't care if you have background noise. Unmute yourself. All right, so real important. What day is today?
Money-making day.
That's right, it's a money-making day. So if you're on this call, it's a money-making day for you. So think about it. Who do you have to connect with to get you a listing appointment for this weekend? Who's on your list? Who here can book a listing appointment today? Have a powerful day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Danny.